Actually, it's Clarence.
Before we really get out of hand here, let's look at Week 12. There's 3 games on Thursday because it's Thanksgiving and it's a tradition, turkey and football. Houston and Detroit. From Detroit, who do you have and why?
You know what? That's a tough decision because Detroit, they always play pretty well on Thanksgiving. But
So does Dallas.
yeah, so does Dallas. But I gotta go with Houston on that one.
And I'm also going with Houston because Houston looks like the better team. As I said during the broadcast, Detroit's defense is still a bit struggling. The offense is getting up there, but the defense still isn't enough. Speaking of Dallas, they're at home as well, but they're hosting the Redskins.
That's another game. I mean, you got a Cowboy against an Indian. I don't know. That one's tough. I'm gonna go with the Redskins.
And I also chose the Redskins because RG3 nearly perfect last week. Might as well give it to the Redskins.
Yeah.
New England and the Jets, this shouldn't be easy. I'm choosing New England just because it's New England, Brady, and all of them.
Yeah, I'm going with New England too. There's no way the Jets are going to win 2 in a row.
You have no faith. You're such a nice person to that.
Bias.
Minnesota's at Chicago. I feel like Chicago will rebound after what happened in San Francisco. They should have Cutler back. We know Campbell was somewhat injured during the game, but he continued to play.
Yeah, I think Chicago's going to have a great chance in that. I don't think Minnesota has it. And you know, as for Jason Campbell, the Niners turned him into soup.
I think he was better with the Raiders, sadly enough. And speaking of that team, without being biased, it is the Raiders, but they're at Cincinnati. Without being biased, who are you choosing?
Well, because Cincinnati had they won on Sunday, right?
Yes.
Because they had that great
They played
win.
Kansas City, for God's sake.
Okay, like I said, because they had that great win against a spectacular team like the Chiefs. Not. I gotta go with Cincinnati.
Same here, and I'm not going to BS what you just said. Pittsburgh is at Cleveland. I'm choosing the Steelers in this, despite the fact they had a hard game against the Ravens. I feel like they'll rebound, and who knows, Plaxico could actually be a key in this game.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh has a good chance against Cleveland too, because I mean, even without Big Ben under center, even without him, they're still a dominant team.
The next game we have is Buffalo at Indy. I feel like Indy will rebound. I mean, this is not New England. This is Buffalo. Yes, Buffalo won on Thursday against Miami, but still, they got Andrew Luck. Indy is like the 3rd or 4th hottest team in the NFL. You got to give it to the Colts.
Yeah. Plus, they're playing at Indianapolis. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt. And as I remember, I picked
the Colts.
No. Between Buffalo and Miami, I picked Buffalo.
Aren't you smart? I didn't. How does that make you feel?
I picked Buffalo, and they...
I really don't care.
Just like I said, that cold weather affects those teams
I don't
hot
care.
climates.
I really don't care. But we'll care about this one because you and I will probably agree between Denver and Kansas City. From Kansas City, who are you picking?
Oh, wow. That's another tough one. I mean, you got a rivalry game going on there, but you gotta give the edge to the Broncos.
Yes, you got to give it to the Broncos, too. I mean, Manning... He's just unbelievable. That's all you can say.
Yeah, he's still Archie Manning's kid, but you gotta love the guy.
And this one may actually be hard to pick. The Seahawks and the Dolphins from Miami. Who do you got?
Oh, wow. That is a tough one. But you know what? Because they're playing at Miami, I'm going with the Seahawks.
They're playing at Miami, so you're choosing the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, what the heck. I'm choosing the Seahawks, too, because I feel like Wilson will rebound. I don't know if he won. I forgot, did he win or not? I'm taking a look right now because I'm all, ugh. Did Seattle even play last week?
I think they had a bye.
Oh, they did have a bye. I don't even see
they had
them.
a bye.
So what the heck am I talking about? But yeah, Seattle had a bye, and I'm choosing them for that game. Atlanta and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay also being one of the hottest teams in the NFL. I got to choose Atlanta, even though Atlanta nearly lost to Arizona, but I feel like they'll have enough. If they score early, that is.
Yeah, you know what? This is where we're going to have to disagree because I think Tampa Bay might have a slight edge on Atlanta.
You really think so?
Yeah, because of the fact that Atlanta is still trying to keep everything on the surface. They're trying to stay that dominant team at being, what, 8-1?
Mm-hmm.
And you have another team that's as hungry as Tampa Bay that wants to knock them off their pedestal.
And we're running out of time here, so we got to hurry and go through this. Tennessee and Jacksonville. From Jacksonville.
You got to go with Tennessee.
I'm going with Jacksonville because they're due. San Francisco and New Orleans. This should be no surprise of who we pick without being biased, so we're not going to say the choice anyways. Plus, we may even see San Francisco back there anyways during the Super Bowl without being biased again. Baltimore at San Diego.
You got to go with Baltimore.
Same. And if Richard was here, I'm not buying the Kool-Aid. Oh. St. Louis at Arizona. I'm choosing somewhat of an upset and picking the Rams.
You know what? I kind of agree with you. I think the Rams are going to pull that one out.
And this is probably the hardest one out of all of them. Green Bay and the Giants.
Ooh, wow. That's a rematch of last year's playoff game.
Yes.
You know what? Even though the Giants are stumbling right now, I'm going to go with the Giants.
And so am I. Last game, Carolina and Philly. Will Philly lose 7 straight?
I think they will.
Same. I'm going with that. And the reason I wanted to rush through this is because we do have one more topic. Let's talk about the BCS.
You had to go there, didn't
I was waiting for you to get here, so I was dying to talk about this. K-State obviously loses at A&M of Texas. Some team in Oregon loses to Stanford.
By a fluke.
Oh, here we go.
And by the way, what's the NFL referee's name who's in charge of the rules?
Ed Hockley?
No. He's Mike Pieria or something like that.
Oh, well, I know his name too. It's like Fiera or something. But yeah, go ahead.
Even he said himself today that touchdown that tied the game for Stanford should have not been reversed because of the fact that he never touched the ground and his shoulder went out before he even touched the ground.
Oh, I got you mad about this.
That is my point, and Pistol Pete says that's the way the cookie crumbles.
And I think you and I could agree with the new BCS, at least the top 5. I know number 1 is Notre Dame, which I somewhat don't agree with, but since they're the only undefeated team that's actually eligible to make a bowl game, Ohio State's also undefeated, but they can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then number 2, you have Bama.
Again.
3, you have, Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
4, for whatever dumb reason, you have Florida. And then 5, you have...
the Ducks.
Yes. Just waiting for you to pick that out. But you know what? It's starting to look like it is a Notre Dame-Alabama national championship. Let me just say if Notre Dame does choke against USC, you're going to get Oregon back in that national championship picture.
Well, it depends on if Florida State beats Florida and Alabama stumbles against, who are they playing last?
Oh, dear.
But the Ducks would need 2, 3, and 4 to lose in order to get back into the national championship game.
And the only possibility that's going to happen is only 2 of the 3 are going to lose. They still have the SEC championship, and that could still debate a lot. I mean, if Notre Dame goes down, that's probably the key thing at most. Whoever wins the SEC is in the national championship, whether it is Alabama, Georgia, or Florida.
Yeah.
And right now it does look like Bama.
Yeah, and it's funny to me how Alabama and those teams from the SEC, they lose once, but they always have a second shot.
And they will always have a second shot because for some reason everyone is East Coast bias.
That's the way it is, everybody.
And we need that bracket system ASAP. With that will conclude DC Sports Hour for today. We all hope you have a happy Thanksgiving because you won't see us on Thursday. In fact, I don't think you'll see anyone working because it's time to give thanks. So for Vinsanity and Pete over there, who's still upset about his Ducks.
Don't get me started again, man.
I am not going to get you started, but I'll probably say a lot when we go off the air.
Not unless you want to riot.
Oh, here we go. We'll see you guys next time on DC Sports Hour on DC Free 89.5.
Peace!
Sun goes down, the stars come out, and all that counts is here and now. My unit